The Society for Corporate Governance in Nigeria has called for emphasis on research, programs of learning, thought of leadership, publications, advocacy, board evaluation and enhancement programs in Nigeria. The association made this known at a hybrid event held in Lagos with the theme Environmental, Social and Corporate Governance Aligning Strategies for Sustainable Success and how these principles drive sustainable success in post-COVID world. Experts and business leaders gave perspectives on leveraging ESG performance to attract investment, engage stakeholders, mitigate risks and unlock new opportunities.
Nigeria was the first country to announce an early adoption of the two standards that have been released, the IFRS S1 and S2, and we've been taking steps to actually implement. These standards are supposed to become implementable by 1st January 2024, which is for January next year. So we'll be taking steps to ensure that, yes, by January next year, companies in Nigeria will be able to adopt and implement the standards. But there are a few companies also who have volunteered, so they want to do an early adoption of these standards, which means they're trying to implement these standards in relation to their 2023 annual financial statements. Remember what I said, the standard is supposed to become effective 1st January 2024, which means they will only become effective for financial statements ending in 2024.
Clearly indicated Nigeria has signed on to this framework, and a number of guidelines and standards have been set. And if you recall, in 2018, the Nigerian government approved the Nigerian Code of Corporate Governance, which is currently being implemented. And we're happy to note that as corporate institutions, this has been strictly and religiously implemented. But as we say, with corporate governance, it's a journey. In other words, you are influencing culture. So it's not just about compliance. And we believe as we move on, we should be in a position to have a very high standard of corporate governance in Nigeria.
People have come at ESG from a CSR perspective, and it's been very discretionary. But now it's become more formalized with the launch of the new standard released by the RSSB. So I think that we're going to see a lot of changes at the board level, but also in the organizations. We need to see organizations start to integrate ESG into their operations, strategy, business model, and just the way they do business generally.
The human being is a product of the environment. So it's important we protect the environment. You can see what is happening in the northern parts of this country. That's desertification. If you come down to the middle part of the country, you can see a lot of floods. If you go to the south side, you can see what's happening. So environment is so key for us as an African country. Having said that, the issue of education is so fundamental. If you educate your people, definitely you are going to eradicate poverty, hunger, and disease. So education is also very, very fundamental, particularly girl-child education. Now, having come to the other aspect of ESG, you're talking about labor. Of course, whatever labor laws that we have in this country, it's not that for lack of having laws, but it's the question of implementation. Of recent, we have been having issues as a people in Nigeria with regards to NLC. It's a fact, and I hope the government is going to work closely with NLC so that all these intermittent strikes we have because of labor are addressed.
A lot of times we talk and focus on corporate governance, which is important, but like the guest speaker spoke very eloquently about creating, or the challenge to create a code for governance in the public sector. As a fellow of the Institute of Chartered Secretary and Administrators, this is something that is very serious for us. It's corporate governance is good from the corporate side of things, but the public sector also needs a code of governance that will make sure that those that are acting in the governance field in that sector are playing by a certain set of rules. People would say politicians are not asked ethical questions before they're elected, but then when they get into offices, they are asked to be ethical.